I feel like I gotta talk about this. So yeah, I just woke up, but then I've been up for like 8 minutes to be honest, like 7 minutes maybe. That's why my voice doesn't sound as bad as like other videos, because other videos, as soon as I wake up, I start telling you about that particular dream that I woke up from while it's still fresh and still in my mind. It's still fresh right now. Just that it wasn't my immediate thought to talk about this particular dream, so here it is. So basically, I was on my street, right? My real life street, and I was holding like a trolley. I was holding a trolley, pushing it down the street, not in like a bummy way. I think in like an errand, running an errand somewhere kind of way, for someone kind of way. Perhaps my mom or something like that. And then like these group of girls, like South African girls, like, and then one Portuguese girl, right? Like three like black South African girls, and then one Portuguese girl, one, yeah. The reason I'm a bit silent on that is because, okay, well, I'll get to that part. Essentially, she's not necessarily Portuguese. She just speaks Portuguese. So she could be from like another part of the world. Just that, and the language that she speaks is Portuguese. Yeah, but then she was like this fair skinned girl, right? So I'm pushing the trolley down the street, and then they're on the street as well, and they just talking and they're walking, and then I fall off, like trying to like stand up on the trolley, not necessarily stand up, but then like trying to push myself up. Like how you push your forearms like up against the handle. Yeah, and then the trolley like went up, and then I fell, and then I could tell that I could tell that they were like trying not to giggle. And then I approached them. I was like, "Yo, dude, I'm not gonna fall off that damn thing, right?" And then when I flip and disappear around the corner, you guys are gonna erupt in laughter. You know, that's not gonna happen. So that was me trying to like not make a complete fool out of myself. Like, yo, you guys are not gonna laugh at me once I disappear here. You know what I mean? And they laughed there at I don't know, at my words, I guess. And then I just sort of like hung around them. I kind of just like started pushing the trolley in between them, and then like talking to them in a very charismatic way, which is not very representative of like my actual kind of my being. I'm not really forward in that kind of way. But then that dream really reminded me. It's not a realization, it's just a reminder that these are the dudes that mingle with, that make friends, that encounter new people, that they get themselves out there, whatever their intention may be. My intention was just simply to like talk to these people, not to make a fool of myself, and to like sort of just to talk to the kids on the block, because as it stands right now, in reality, I don't talk to anyone on the block. It's just me, you know. So yeah, I was talking to them. I ended up like just diverting away from that, and then talking about something else. I'm just thinking about how fake that kind of felt like to display like a false sense of like charisma. But then it's not fake, maybe, because you kind of have to fake it until you make it, you know? You kind of have to display some charisma so that you develop charisma. You know what I mean? You develop likability, you develop approachability. This idea of like just being secluded and like withdrawn. It's not cool, especially if you're trying to, you know, not be like 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 on your own as much. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've got. I was talking generally there, but then if I talk like personally, I've got like buddies and stuff that from school and stuff. That I talk to like online and whatnot. And not so much in person because they're in the different provinces and stuff, and you know they've got their lives going for them and stuff like that. Not to say I don't, but then like I'm saying that they've got different places and stuff. They're studying, they're working, they're trying to give themselves an honest shot in these other places. So when you're in a position like that, you're mostly on your own, at least in like a physical sense. So yeah, so I started talking to them, and yeah, it was cool. I was pushing the trolley. They were like, yeah, they were having fun, and we were really close to my house too. I say that because hold on, hold on, let me tell it. let me let me tell it in sequence. Let me tell it in sequence. So we were walking, right? You'll remember there's that one potentially Portuguese girl. So I'm not I don't remember exactly what I asked, but then I asked the question generally to like all the girls, and then she it was funny then too in the the Portuguese girl replied in Portuguese, right? And then I looked at I looked I looked at her. I was like, dude, why did you think that I'd potentially understand what you just said to me? You know, that was funny because like in friend groups, if your friend group is like diverse, like ethnically diverse, some friends will like throw in some native words in there that the friend group eventually understands. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but yeah, if like the group is ethnically diverse, and yeah, someone will just throw in some language from their home, you know, and then the group will eventually understand. And if that grows beyond that, then the friend could even like start saying like basic full sentences, and the friend group will, or vice versa, you know, like maybe the friend group will say stuff, and this happens a lot in South Africa. Say like sentences or like phrases, and the non no hold on, you get what I'm trying to say, like the the other person, the other you know person will eventually catch on, you know. So I guess that was an instance of that where like the friend group understood that particular phrase or that particular um in this case it wasn't an an exclamation. It was like a word, man. And then I was like, dude, you expect me to understand that? So that was funny. And then we got to my, like we were passing my house, like I said, we were on my street. We were passing the house. We weren't necessarily heading to my crib. And then I was like, since we're like close to my crib, let me show you guys the the dog. And like, fortunately the dog was outside because he's a house dog. He stays out in the house. So I would have had to like make the girls just like wait like a minute, like half a minute for me to open the garage, open the gate, go inside, run quickly, like grab the dog, run back with the dog. But they potentially, I mean, like, fortunately he was just outside, so I just grabbed him. I was like, yeah, yeah, here's the dog, and they started petting him and stuff. And then, yeah, I woke up. I woke up. So, yeah, there's a couple of takeaways from this. You know, if you're like a loser, right? If you're like a loser guy, you could have fallen off that trolley, and then you could have allowed them to just laugh at you, and you could have just beaten yourself up for it. You know, it's all about how you take things. It's all about how you perceive things, or how you how you play your cards, essentially. You know, you can go home and victimize yourself, and say stuff like, well, they laughed at me, I fell off, or I'm such a loser. Or you can just be like, you can take a page out of a charismatic dude's book and then just sort of like use that to your advantage. You know, charismatic people are so lucky, man. They're so lucky. The fortunate part is we can all be charismatic. We just have to flex that bone. We just have to, yeah, we just have to flex that bone. Yeah.